Hello, everyone, and thank you again for joining on our Opto Research Consultancy Services Spark Series, Season 2. And this season is mainly focused on getting insights from peer scholars from optometry and vision science, and basically from who have pursued their undergrad from India and aiming to finish their PhD of overseas, be it at Australia or in, United States or Canada. So today we have Mr. Shashank, who is a very good old friend of mine, and he has graciously accepted to be today's podcast. And he is currently pursuing his PhD in Australia. Before I start conversing with him, I request Shashank to share about his, take a minute and share about his undergraduate studies at India, and then maybe from there we will take it forward. Thank you again for joining, Shashank. Over to you.
Thank you, Gopinath, and thank you, Opto Research Consultancy Services, for this amazing Spark series so that every research student is being interviewed in such way. So
Thank
I
you.
would like to start my research journey. Right, I start from my undergraduate program. I started with a 4 years bachelor's, which consists of uh, a year in internship where we had to undergo a research project. So I completed my bachelor's from Lotus College of Optometry. It's in Mumbai, Jew area, where there are a lot of nice beach or nice sunset and sunrise point to see. So every time we go to the college over there for each of our lectures or practicals, we always get to see the sunrise and the sunset every time. And the college is very amazing place in which there are a lot of lectures and they teach us a lot of things, and it's very good. So we protested. We definitely got to know about what is optometry and how is it going to, and there are a lot of subjects to learn and very interesting things to do in our eyes as well as in our colleagues' eyes. So I started my research when I joined the internship of my college, where I used to do several rounds and several postings every month in different areas. And some of the times we used to get posted in a same institute or the Lotus College of Optometry, where I used to get time. In that time, I used to do research in low vision, where I used to collect data from several practitioners about how are the barriers in eye care related to low vision. So I gradually started with that. I had a little bit of struggling with this research because everything was new to me and there were a lot of barriers associated with it. So this eventually led me to do a lot of research on how to do a research actually in this field. So after once I completed my bachelor's and successfully completing my research in low vision, I graduated from my bachelor's of optometry, then I transitioned to apply for my master's in philosophy in optometry at Shankar Netrala, where for joining this research, it's very interesting that it has a lot of exams and interview questions that are being asked before you get selected in the master's program over there. So this is a very unique opportunity that everyone got to get inside the program. And this program was completely research based. I would say about 60% research, 40% theory. It was in such way that the lectures get started with this program. In this program, I was very much interested as because in the bachelor's we were more focused on contact lens research. So in master's program also I was very much interested to learn this subject. So also I got this opportunity I as well as I also asked for low vision as well, but low vision there were limited options as it was taken by other people as well. So there limited vacancy in the master's program for research in doing that. So I opted for contact lens. Eventually, it's a new program, so I learn it faster. So I gradually got into the program. I learned about a lot of things in soft contact lenses, clear lenses, and it was amazing field. And eventually this field was a peak at that time. So and slowly transition, a lot of phases about lot of new things came in, and we had to learn a lot. We had to do a lot of tasks in contact lenses and a lot of research as well as doing collecting a lot of patients was quite challenging as we did it in our own colleagues and participants at Shankar Netralaya. And it was we have to keep a record of how the students and everyone can be accounted or appointed for, because it's a very long thing that we have to take your own time, and you also have to value others time so that you get the participants and required participants and complete your project in time. So within the 2 years I transitioned with that and then forwarded further to I was looking for other options. So at that time, I wasn't so much interested to join PhD. So I went ahead. I eventually got a company in which I did some sales, marketing, as well as doing some research analysis for a company. In those 3 months, I learned about a lot of follow-ups, hearing feedback about customers. And
Mhm.
this company which I joined, it used to manufacture a lot of things. It was a startup company. So one of the program I was assigned was regarding the digital vision charts and how do we develop them further. In that, I learned a lot of things, and this eventually led me to explore more into research. And then I did some applying for the universities, several universities, in which a lot of things they require about research publications. They require English languages because coming from a country where we have several multilingual languages, and spoken English is not even there because with the colleagues we speak our own national languages, and there's no national language, but we speak languages what can be understood. So this comes as a barrier if we apply for a developed country and we
Mhm.
want to do a PhD over there. So eventually I got into interviews. The interview is the last selection process. Over there also you have some barriers in which there are certain questions that you don't understand. So gradually I began to gain those experiences and also gain some insights from them. In this way, I learned to build up my profile in the that will help me out to gain. Okay, so yeah, you have asked a particular type of research question, and then you have to answer that. And how will you answer? Whether you answer it short or whether you answer it long. So at first we have to do a lot of research on that also, so that to get selected to the program.
Yeah,
So and then
thank you so much. Yeah.
you're
And
welcome.
I'm very glad to hear that from your undergraduate time you got inspired, at least in terms of or got an opportunity at Lotus to do research, being a pioneer institute of in that zone, as well how you transformed picking up contact lenses, though it is not your forte at that time, and learning from a newer institution and different phases of understanding of contact lenses, and you did eventually well in terms of like completing the project, and I'm very glad to hear you again transformed into like a medical professional as a into the digital marketing and aspects. And so I just thought I'll stop you here and then ask another question, like how many times did you apply uh, PhD before your current position being accepted?
So, applying a PhD, I would applied several times. I would say I can't know the number. It will be more than 60 or 80 times at least. So it's
Okay.
like I'm also applying to some positions which were not relevant to mine because they needed some positions with related to engineering fields.
Hmm.
And most of the PhD offers are given to the engineering fields, not very, there are limited options for optometry. So in
Hmm.
that case, when we are applying to the universities, you will have to look forward that your research or whatever you're doing at present should match with the research what you're doing, and that can also be applicable, which you will have as additional skill
Hmm.
in developing other things as well, such as data analysis. If you're doing in Excel, you should know Excel very well, or you have published a paper on something. That will also eventually help to gain insight into the field you're doing, and you want to pursue that only field for the next 3 to 5 years of your PhD.
So
So this will
this is
help you
very
to,
interesting.
yeah,
Uh, like 60 to 80 times of the perseverance, keep reapplying. It's a big task. Like I know how much, so many times you might be devastated or disappointed naturally because of rejections where you wanted to really pursue. So how did you really tackle the rejection emails, or when you are not able to hear back anything from the university, you might be very interested to pursue?
it's it's a good question. This rejection based, you will actually will help you to learn a lot. First thing is, like, you get a rejection, you will see what's gone wrong in your work or that you applied for. Most of the times, you don't what get the feedback from the people you applied. In those things, you will have to, like in my experience, after a period of time of applying to several universities, I understood that you will have to eventually ask the person what is the feedback. Normally, I would say about 60% the person that you applied for will actually reply back to you and will tell you that what was your drawback on the
Mhm.
interview or on the position that you applied for. You will have certain things that you have to work out in the future applications. That will also help you to gain significant knowledge and will do more research and add those skills in your profile. And this will try to improve your CV, because the CV is the main important document which gets selected and gets forwarded to an interview.
Okay, so that's good. Like the feedbacks from the rejections should be taken in a positive way to improve your further communications with any supervisors, or when you put up a new PhD application. And moving forward to next question, like how did you adjust as an international student in Australia? And along with it, what were the initial challenges you faced into the PhD program? I think it's been 1.5 2 years of life at Australia. So can you answer these two questions?
Yes, thanks for the question. It's a very nice question because it's very difficult to adjust to a new life, and the culture seems to be awkward for some people
Mhm.
because it's completely different. What you follow back in your country is completely different here, and the way of working and the way of managing your time, it's very challenging. So the what in my experience I would like to share to you all is that you have to plan your budget
Mhm.
before you apply to any university abroad, and this would take anything from 6 months to 1 year, because the application process takes about 6 months before you get selected. And in that process also, you will have to budget your medical screening, your English test, whether how many times you're giving your English test, or how many times you're also giving some application help from others for or taking the advice of an agent to process your application. Certain countries requires agent to process the applications.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, you will have to ask your seniors or colleagues who had finished the same course earlier. That would help you to find out the exact process and way faster than and you get way faster than your other colleagues who are applying to the same university. Also, you have to follow up with the same supervisor. If you applied for that same supervisor in the same university, it's not that you apply for the one professor and you apply for another professor in the same university. That will challenge your application. That means that both the professors will know each other and everybody is coordinated here. So by chance you apply for both, you have to be careful that you won't get in the university. That's not possible because you have to go with one supervisor and you have to follow it every time. And following up is the main important reason in which you get your position of your PhD. The main thing is the people who apply to the universities with the supervisor, they will have a problem of supervisor not replying immediately back to them.
Mm.
So if you don't reply, if you don't um, follow up with the email with the supervisor, then they seem that you must not be interested so much. They
Mm.
have already read your email. They have read your email or they skipped your email, but some of the people are so busy in their work that they don't know whether they have also read your email or sending. You have to send the email in such a way that it will attract the supervisor that okay, this person or he or she is applying to the university is very much interested in the work the supervisor is doing in their lab. That will help to gain the insights and that will help to join their team. So
Okay.
the goal is you will have limited options for research also. So what you apply for a particular research, they will have limited options, and you will have to transition with that option if you have no other choice.
Okay. Okay. So, following up with the supervisor and getting insights from the seniors or the colleague who have already completed PhD under the same supervisor or under the university, and taking up, like, even though it may not be interested for your uh, like interested topic, if you get an opportunity, don't leave that, grab that opportunity and can pursue the PhD if you're really wanted to pursue overseas. So I take those as key points. And yeah.
Additionally with that, it's like you don't have to take the topic which you feel that it's about you because you will be doing
Mm-hmm.
that same topic over a period of time, and you should
Mm-hmm.
not feel that yeah, okay, you have accepted the topic and then you feel that oh, okay, it was not very good, you want to change the topic. That's not possible because once you have chosen the topic and you have agreed with the supervisor, it's going to be with you for the next 4 years, because ultimately the approval is taken by the supervisor.
Okay, so with that, I would like you to answer, like, what is your current research work? Can you tell in a nutshell, and what motivated you to choose that topic?
So I actually so my current work is on myopia or short-sightedness.
Mm-hmm.
So myopia is the current problem which is happening all across the world. People or small children and children who go to school, they get glasses for some reason that they cannot see the blackboard or they cannot do some outdoor activity. What happens is the children will not come to the parents and tell them they cannot cannot see, they will initially try to tell the parents, but the parents may try to ignore or something happens. And I've seen that when I worked back in India, when we went to one of the schools to have a screening for myopia, we have seen that most of the teachers, students, and the parents are not aware of what myopia is.
mhm,
So initially, what happens is people who could see better, they could copy the notes from the board or whatever teacher says, and eventually it's copied by the side person who cannot see. So that misses a most important part, which is uncorrected refractive error or the myopia for short sightedness who cannot see
mhm,
far distances. So this happens quite often, especially in India, because in India, I've seen that in schools, lot of schools are not well illuminated, or the lights are not working, or the electricity is not there. And so some of the time the electricity is gone off for 4 hours or 5 hours. But now the things are changing, and maybe the policies or public policies can help to have an impact on these things for myopia, and it can eventually help the school children so that they get proper glasses and they can read better and they can get good marks.
Okay, so moving on to the next couple of questions. Uh, can you tell some skills that even undergraduate student, if they wish to pursue research that as a PhD or a master's level, key skills that they should learn, and and what advice would you give to students who are considering research career in optometry? If you can answer the both questions together, it will be lovely.
So I have several points on this question. This is a very nice question which you are asked. Some of the students will not know how to get a part on research.
Mm,
So first thing is you will have research is like you will have to search on certain topic, and then you have to get some you have to read an article and then see whether there are any gaps in that article. Normally people should see the systematic review. They should learn how to read an article. That is the first thing. And they should also take help of their seniors or mentors who can help them read an article and how what you get from that article. And also provide, like, if the article is written in such a way, compare with other article and see how you can do it. This whole process is called as critical reviewing.
mhm,
And there is also a course, a lot of courses in online where people can help themselves to become a critical reviewer. As I am a vice president of Optical Society of America at my university. So I recommend doing the Optical Society of America critical reviewing course, which will help students to do this course and gain insights on how to do a critical review of an article. This will eventually help them to gain insight knowledge of an article, because once they get into a research institute where they do research, they will not know idea where these people are finding about certain things in that article. Another thing is it's about learning. You're getting an opportunity when you're working at clinics in a major hospitals that you get to publish a paper, but you don't know how to start.
mhm,
In that way, you will have to also learn to ask either the people who are the surgeons, who often publish some case reports and some articles. They are more kind of experienced in publishing papers because they publish more, and they eventually get a lot of clinical trials. So the
mhm,
clinical trials are one part in which the company comes to the surgeons and they sponsor some drugs, and they sponsor the whole testing. In that, you come to know whether these drugs are ready to be commercialized in the market or not. So this way, you can help to know what the clinical research is There's a triad of a pyramid in the research field in which you come to know where lot of research stands. Like you have systematic review, you have cross-sectional studies, you have case control studies, case series. So there are a lot of things in that. So in this way, you come to know a lot of things, but you have to keep on learning in this field. If you're joining one field, you have to stick to that one field, but also you have to see the current trends which can be associated with another field. Such as you are going into myopia. In myopia, you will also have to see whether there are different aspects of treatment. In treatment, you see there are contact lenses treatment. In that contact lens treatment, also you're associating glasses. There are a lot of things in this program. So in that way, as you go ahead in your life, in your career path, you will eventually come to know that how you broaden your horizons for this knowledge
Okay, so
as
so
your
I'm
main field.
if
Yeah.
yeah, so if I put it in a nutshell, uh, having rigor, literature review knowledge, and critical appraisal skills, and implementing in the evidence-based practice, so might help you grow in terms of clinical researcher as well as a scientist level. So you can broaden the horizon of being a par with the research skill as well as so that and even at the level of undergraduate student, you are supposed to learn the art of doing a good literature review and critical appraisal skills that can help you even publishing a small review article which can help you get into a PhD portion. So I take that in that way, Shashank. Is it right?
Yes. Additionally,
Yeah. Mhm.
the people will learn to write case reports. That is the
Mhm.
basis of all research. So initially, students should learn how to write a case report, then gradually proceed further in your third year to do some research. And
Okay.
to do a research is a very challenging way because you need to add in lot of aspects such as data collection, making the methods, and doing a thorough literature review so that you get the gaps for the literature and define your hypothesis for that topic. You have a certain topic, you can define it anyhow, but you have to search that topic back in your review papers so that you get exactly, okay, this topic has some research gap. And also, you have to also list it down in your literature review. Additionally, regarding for applying, it's like you will also need to have certain type of English knowledge.
Mhm.
This is eventually achieved by either reading books, listening to English songs, watching some English series in your prime time, but not every time. Whenever you are bored of doing studies or doing research, you can actually go and listen to some of the podcasts or some of the people who are talking in TED. So that will eventually help build up your English skills. These are eventually required when you are being selected for an interview as well as giving exams. For exams, you need to practice your own self. If you're giving exams such as GRE for US applications, in GRE you need to study about a lot of logical reasoning, and eventually you'll go back to your 11th or 12th grader, and there you have to identify those skills because it's a very competitive exam, and you have to have that skill to get into whatever university you want to go to and pursue your PhD. But even after you get your PhD, it's like a challenge because some of the supervisors will tell you what to do, some of the supervisors won't tell you what to do. So you have to figure it out on your own self or take help of your mentors and seniors.
So yeah, thank you so much, Shashank. Like I think you have pinned out all the key aspect being undergrad, how important is doing some case reports and expand your knowledge in your masters and how to write to a supervisor, how important is sending follow-up emails, how important connecting with senior colleagues or the mentors overseas who have completed PhD there, and the importance of being updated in the uh, research field by doing literature review and finding up the proper gaps and implementing in the methodology so that you don't get stuck during your data collection. And I really enjoyed the conversation what we had. And thank you so much, Shashank, for accepting today for today's podcast. And we will
All
all
right.
meet you again in another podcast.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for, yeah.